Hey everybody, welcome to Yoga and a Pint Online. If you're following along with the playlist today on Spotify, if you can watch the video on your computer and then play the playlist on your phone, if you want my music with you, cool. If you prefer silence or just your own playlist, go for it. But if you're playing this one or looking for a little music to go along with this practice, it's on Spotify and the name of this mix is Yoga Balance and Grounding 3-20-20. So if you're going to play along, pause it till you get it ready, and then when you're ready, we're going to all hit play together. Ready? Here we go. Okay. So the music is flowing, or you're in silence. We're going to have a nice grounding practice together today. Grounding is all about that feeling of stability and literally ground underneath our feet. In the last couple weeks, things have really shifted and it feels like the ground is moving. So we're going to get into that feeling of stability again. First thing first, how's your balance? Pop into a tree pose right away. So shift all the weight, turn your right knee out, and find that balance. Is it there for you today? It might be a little wobbly. Try another side, just give it a little chance, just to see where you're at to start. No judgments, no pressure, just breathe. Okay. If we're feeling a little wobbly, it's because literally every system and every routine that we've gotten used to has been a bit upended. So let's find some stability. Take a deep breath, keep your feet nice and wide, pick up your toes, and then attach them to the mat. Take a nice deep breath and reach your arms all the way up over your head. On your exhale, interlace your fingers except for your pointers. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. Again, find that connection to the mat under your toes and grip. Hold on to the earth. Take another deep breath and reach high. On your exhale, you're going to bring it over. Inhale nice and high. Exhale, other side. Inhale once again, nice and high. Feeling that all the way up to the sky and all the way down to the ground, sending some energy from your fingertips through your shoulders, through your hips and knees, all the way into your heels. Take another nice deep breath. Now we're going to fold. Big exhales, you hinge at the hips, arms wide, bring it all the way down. If you can't touch the mat, that's just fine. Bring those hands up and rest them on your shins. If you can touch the ground, let your head be heavy. Bring your head down towards the ground. Again, taking this energy up here that's swirling and trying to bring it as close to the ground as we can. On your next inhale, lift halfway, extend your spine like someone was gently pulling the crown of your head forward. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. We're going to take that one again with just the halfway lift. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold. Inhale to that halfway lift, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, bend your knees enough to really plant your palms and then reach the hips up, head down towards the earth. It's okay if you keep your knees a little bit bent here. We want to bring the head as close as we can down to the ground. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale once again, we're reaching arms high, coming up to stand, coming up, 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 up. This time we're going to take a little twist. So deep breath at the top. Exhale, open to a twist. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, other side. Inhale all the way up to stand. This time we're going to walk it out to a forward fold. So if you need to step to the very back of your mat, bring those hands to your heart. Take a deep breath. Exhale, fold. Put a little bend in your knees. Really plant those palms. Walk your hands forward all the way into that downward facing dog. Now you know you have the right distance between hands and feet. If you shift forward into a high plank pose, into that top of that push-up, and find that space so shoulders are right over wrists, then exhale, bring it back. Bring your heels towards the mat and find your downward facing dog. Now when we're talking about grounding, you stay in your down dog. In our forward fold, we're bringing the head towards the earth. Forward fold with hands down, we feel that connection. As we walk out into the down dog, we find even more connection with the earth. 4 points, hands and feet, finding that connection, feeling that stability under our hands and our toes. Shake your head yes, shake your head no, or give it a little circle out. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale, knees down. Untuck your toes. Now you're in this tabletop. Start with a little cat and cow. Inhale to arch and look up. Exhale, round and look at your belly button. Continue to move with your breath and inhale, reaching you up and arch. Exhale, round. So finding that grounding means literally bringing our energy to the ground. And now as we're in this down dog tabletop motions, we're bringing more connection. In down dog, we've got hands and feet. In our tabletop, we add our shins, our knees, the tops of our feet. Take a big hip circle. Bring the hips back and around towards the heels and up the other side. Just 3 in this direction. And then we're going to reverse. So bring it back around in the other direction. Connect with your breath. Coming back into that tabletop. Tuck your toes once again, coming back into our downward facing dog. Reach the hips high, pedal those heels out, bend one knee a lot so the other heel can reach down, and then switch. Feet wide. Start to walk back towards your hands. Stay in a forward fold. Again, keeping the head and the energy from the top of the head, bringing down to the ground. Ragdoll. If you'd like to cross your arms with a gentle sway side to side. Again, letting your head be really heavy. You can stay here in the forward fold, or we're going to take it in a circle once in each direction, letting the elbows lead the way. So cross your arms. Turn to one side. Let the elbow lead you up, up, up to stand. As you come up to stand, take a deep breath at the top. Let that exhale bring you around the other side. Take a breath in the center. And then reverse. Other elbow leads you up. Come up to the top, take a deep breath. Big exhale, fold. Uncross the arms, bringing heart down, bringing arms and hands down to the mat. Little bend in each knee, shake that out. Big exhale. Put a little bend in your knees. Scoot your toes a little closer together. Roll yourself all the way up to stand. When you get to the top, roll your shoulders up and back. Make sure you're not feeling lightheaded. Take that deep breath. Step your feet just a little distance apart, about hip distance apart, and take that nice, slow, deep breath. Maybe already feeling a little bit of that swirling energy starting to drift and connect and find that place down into the ground, into your mat, and into the floor. We're going to take a nice deep breath, reach your arms high. This is going to be for neck and shoulders. We're going to bring one arm around and rest it on your back. Reach back for that wrist. Gently pull that arm against your back and stick your elbow out wide. Now this shoulder is already getting a bit of a stretch here, and we're going to add on by tipping ear toward that elbow that's sticking out. Doesn't matter which side you start on, but just let that ear melt toward the elbow that's sticking out. Drop your chin toward your shoulder, finding that stretch in the back ligaments of your neck here. Continue to breathe. Slowly bringing that chin to neutral or straight out, and then maybe tipping it up a little bit, changing into those ligaments toward the front and side of the neck. I don't know why anyone would be stressed or holding any tension in their neck or shoulders these days, but perhaps you are. Bring it back down. Bring chin to center, hands reach behind you. Maybe interlace those fingers and stretch the shoulders wide open. Lift the chin up towards the sky. Deep breath. You can just feel those shoulders melt down as you breathe. Bring your chin back to neutral, head right over shoulders, and switch to the other side. Whichever side you did first, bring the other arm back, elbow sticking out, standing up tall, equal weight in your feet. Start to tip your head over to the other shoulder. You can close your eyes if it feels good. Maybe tipping the chin up toward the ceiling a little bit. Maybe tipping it down toward your chest a little bit. Breathe. Bring chin back to center, reach hands behind you, either hold opposite forearms or interlace those fingers again. This time, switch which finger is in front as you interlace your fingers. It'll feel a little funny because it's not your usual grip, but extend those knuckles down toward the ground. Now you can stay standing, stay right here, press into your feet and lift your heart. If you'd like to take this into a forward fold, you're gonna start to bring the head forward toward the ground. Knuckles are gonna reach up and behind you. A big shoulder stretch. Shake your head yes and no. And then you're going to unlace those fingers. Let your hands come around. If you remain standing, go ahead and take that forward fold, bringing hands back towards the mat. If you've moved anywhere, step back to the end of your mat again with bent knees. Plant those palms, walk out, and find your high plank once again. That's the top of that push-up. Plugging those arms into their shoulder sockets, finding a nice strong core. When we kick into our core, we kick up the heat. So you might get a little sweaty or a little shaky. You can always drop knees here into a half plank. The truth is, loves, you're at home. If you need a little mermaid time, having a break, do what is right for you. Okay, if you're in that half plank or high plank, hold, relax your jaw, relax the space between your eyes, keeping that core nice and strong. On the next exhale, we're all going to drop the knees. So come down and make a nice straight line from your shoulders through your hips to your knees. You're making a diagonal line. Belly is strong. You're going to take a deep breath. Exhale, bend your elbows back towards your rib cage. Press yourself up. There's a chaturanga. We're going to do 2 more. Exhale, halfway down. Press yourself back up. 1 more. All the way up. This time as slow as you can, you're going to lower all the way to your belly. Lower all the way down. Drop those feet onto the mat behind you. Options here for back bends. You can do a little low cobra. It's a small back bend, a gentle back bend. If you'd like a deeper back bend, you're going to press into your palms. You're going to press into the tops of your feet. Roll those shoulders. Lift your heart. Maybe lift your chin. Deep breath. Exhale, bring your hips high back into that downward facing dog. Pedal it out, pedal it out, pedal it out. Inhale to look up at your hands. Exhale, step or hop up to the top. Inhale to that halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step or hop back into that high plank. Lower from your toes or from your knees. Lower halfway chaturanga or all the way to your belly. Inhale to that low cobra or upward facing dog. Take a deep breath. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale to look up at your hands. Exhale, step or hop up to the top. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to your heart. Coming back to the very beginning, when we just checked in with our balance with a tree pose without any kind of integration first, no grounding, no core strength first, we're going to check back in with that tree. Once we kick into our core and find that solid ground below us, our balance can increase a bit. So take a deep breath. As you exhale, engage your core. It's not holding your breath. It's not sucking in from the diaphragm, because then you can't breathe. It's that transverse abdominal muscle that runs from your spine around your core to your spine. So find that engagement. Shift all the weight into one foot. Doesn't matter which one. Turn your knee out to the side. Maybe your tree today needs to be all 10 toes on the floor. You need those roots. You need that stability. Take it. Perfect. Maybe you want to pick your foot up a little bit to your calf. Maybe you want to pick it up and put it above your knee. Whoa, balance is challenging. Be good to you today. Once you find that strong connection, press into the center line of your body. As much as your standing leg is pressing into your foot is pressing into the leg. Keep your hands at heart center for a breath. You can stay right here, or you can extend your arms up overhead. You can spread your fingers wide. You can collect a little good vibes that we are all sending to this little lovely community who are doing yoga together today. I love you, crazy yogis. I miss you already. Take a deep breath. Bring the knee around to the front. Step it down. Inhale, reach arms high. Exhale, tree on the other side. Now, if you're just doing 20-minute segments or so, you're gonna pause here. You're gonna pause your playlist. You're gonna pause your video. We're gonna end in tree and we're gonna begin the next segment in tree. So if you are just into a 20-minute or so yoga class this morning, you're gonna pause here. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining us. If you're continuing, we're gonna pop right back into tree in 1 second. If you're continuing with this class, you're going to just keep rolling. We're going to meet you in tree pose. If you're coming back for part 2 of this yoga practice and you want some more music, you're going to go back into that playlist, Yoga Balance and Grounding, and we're on this song, Home Again. So you're going to go ahead and click that. Away we go. So, from your tree pose, drop that foot. Find that nice feeling of groundedness in your feet. Take a nice deep breath. And a big sigh. Step all the way back to the back of your mat if you've traveled. You're going to inhale, reach arms nice and high. Maybe adding a little back bend as you open your elbows wide, lift your chin, let your shoulder blades slide together. Inhale, once again, lift high. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Exhale, plant your palms, walk yourself out into that downward facing dog once again. Either stay in your down dog and hold here or shift forward into that high plank. Lower halfway, chaturanga. Inhale to that up dog or low cobra. Exhale to your downward facing dog. From here, you're going to pick up your right foot. Step it all the way up by your hands. If it only makes it halfway on its own, that's okay. Go ahead and grab it and bring it up. Bring the back heel down. We're circling open for warrior 2. So if you need to use this front knee for some support, go ahead. Circle your arms open. Take a deep breath, roll your shoulders up, down and back as you exhale. Find that nice alignment. So your front knee is going to be right over the front ankle. Should be able to see that big toe on the inside of the knee. Inhale, straighten your leg for a moment. And then exhale, make sure it's parked right over the ankle. Take a look through your heels. The front heel, if you drew an imaginary line, should go right through the arch of the back foot. Reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, press them down like you're moving through water. Create a little resistance. Roll the shoulders up and back. Take a deep breath. Now we're going to move here a little bit. If we're moving too fast for you, you're going to hold each one for 3 breaths instead of moving with each breath. I'll show you what I mean. Inhale here. Exhale, come forward into extended side angle. So drop the front elbow. Reach that front top arm up over your ear. On your next inhale, you're going to come back to your warrior 2. As you exhale, you're going to let the back hand slide down the back, straight leg. Front arm reaches high, front knee stays bent. Inhale back to warrior 2. Now we're going to exhale and come forward. If you'd like to stay here, you're going to stay here for 3 breaths. If you'd like to move a little bit more, you're going to inhale back to the warrior 2 and exhale reverse. Each breath is going to move you. Inhale back to your warrior 2, exhale forward. If you've been holding in that extended side angle, you're going to come back and then reverse and hold your reverse for 3 breaths. If you're moving with each breath, keep moving, inhaling to that warrior 2, exhaling forward. You got it. Finding that strength, try to keep equal weight in both feet. Next inhale, come back to your warrior 2 and hold. Straighten the front leg. Turn your toes, so all 10 toes are pointing straight toward the wall. Inhale here and lift your heart, lift your chin, spread your fingers wide for star pose. Deep breath, exhale. Bring your hands to heart center and slowly melt towards the floor. Feet stay nice and wide. Head comes down towards the earth once again, finding that feeling of grounded by bringing all that energy from our head down towards the earth. Hands and feet on the mat. Halfway lift to lengthen your spine. Exhale, let your head be heavy and come on down. Shake your head yes or no. Imagine some of any kind of weight or tension from head and shoulders melting off and coming down towards the mat. Anything you need to get rid of, we can let go and let ground. As you fold, you can stay here or take a twist by placing one hand in the center of the mat, reach the other arm high, finding that twist. Breathe. Slowly come back to your forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, twist to the other side. Back into that forward fold. Put a little bend in the knees. Place those hands just above the knees. Roll halfway up. Stick your hips way out behind you. Bend the knees, balance on your thighs there, and then we're going to rock shoulders into center, one and then the other. It's a nice stretch for that space, that muscle that kind of runs right up and down the spine. So just give it a little once more on each side. Then back to center. Roll all the way up to stand. Roll shoulders up and back. Once again, making sure you're not lightheaded. I'm going to give you two options. You're going to remain standing and just find this nice wide-legged grounding, or you're going to circle around and take a little chaturanga to up dog. Your choice. If you're going to remain standing, you're just going to step feet together at the back of your mat. If you're taking that chaturanga from your wide stance, you're going to turn the front foot, circle hands around, step back into your down dog, shift forward into your high plank, lower halfway or all the way chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're moving on to the other side. So you're going to inhale to pick up your left foot. Exhale, step it forward into that low lunge. Again, if it gets stuck halfway, just reach back and help it up. Bring the back heel down. If you need that front knee for some support, use it. Come on up, circle arms open, warrior two. Roll those shoulders up and back, lengthen your neck. Try to find that feeling like hips are parallel to the floor. Quick check-in again, front foot pointing straight ahead, knee over ankle, back foot parallel to the back of my mat. If I drew a line, goes right through that arch of that back foot. Now coming back to that feeling of balance here in the hips, open arms to that T. You've got your warrior two. Now we're gonna move. Remember, you can hold each one for 3 breaths or move with each breath. Inhale here to get tall. Exhale forward, extended side angle. You got it. Inhale is gonna bring you back to warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Oh, such a good stretch. Inhale back to center. Exhale forward. Again, if you're holding, right about now is when you're gonna come back to center and then find the reverse. Hold there for 3 breaths. The rest of us are gonna move. Inhaling through that center. Exhale, tip forward. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, tip back. Inhale back to center. Oh, feels so good. Straighten the front leg, turn your toes once again. Finding that place, shift them around until your feet are parallel with one another. Then inhale, tall. Find that nice center. Hips are right between the feet, equal weight in both feet. Inhale, reach arms high. Find that star pose again. Spread your fingers wide, lift your heart and chest, tip your chin up, breathe. You can just feel those shoulders open as you exhale. Bring hands back to heart center, start to fold forward. Now, if you really enjoyed that twist, you can take that twist once again. If you want to add a little balance here with that twist, you're going to bring one hand to the center again, reach the other arm high. Now here's if you want to take some balance, you're going to start to walk that hand over to the opposite ankle. So as you hold on to the ankle, you're adding that feeling of balance, just using the feet, straight arm up at the top, maybe looking up towards your hand or down towards the ground. Take a deep breath. And then exhale back to center. Both hands are going to come to the center, a little rock side to side in those hips. And then on to the other side. Placing the other hand firmly on the mat, reach the other arm high. Stay there or add that element of balance by walking your hands over to the other ankle. Reaching high, finding that twist, finding that balance, maybe looking up at the hand or down at the ground. Breathe. Both hands come back to the center. Shift hips a little side to side, give them a little wiggle. Inhale to that halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Turn your heels in a bit and toes out a bit, coming up halfway. Let those hips be heavy once again. Rocking shoulders into center one side and then the other. Once again, getting that nice stretch in the spine. You got this. Now we're talking about grounding, we're talking about balance. So we're going to continue with some more balance. But first we're going to get the hips a little love. So inhale, reach high. Once again, make sure you're not lightheaded. When we're ready to move, we're going to make our way back down to the mat. You can take a chaturanga or skip that, and this is what that's going to look like. You're going to bring that foot around back to your warrior two. Bring your hands around, step back right into your downward facing dog or to your high plank. Lower halfway chaturanga. Inhale to that up dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come on down to your knees. Find your tabletop. I'm going to turn this way just so you can see what I'm doing here for our hip stretch. So I'm going to turn my mat. You go ahead and stay right where you are. For this, we're going to stretch hips, and I'm going to give you lots of options along the way. And then we're going to take this hip stretch back into our tree pose as we stand. So it's going to be pretty fun. Here we go. From our tabletop, find that strong connection, hands, knees. Now engage the core, lengthen the spine. Here we go. We're going to take that right leg out and around, up by the hands. Shoop. Now you're going to find a little forward and back here. If this doesn't feel good, you're going to come into a moving child's pose instead. So big toes together, hips stretch back, and then come up. If you're okay here with the foot up, you can also bend the mat, give your knee a little extra cushion. If you're reaching back and forth, slowly moving in this joint, you can be up on fingertips or on knuckles or flat palms. Find a little movement here. Ooh, big stretch. Now, if this is feeling good, you're gonna stay here. If you want a little more, you're gonna bring that foot back and then lengthen straight out from your hip joint. You're gonna take a nice deep breath and reach your arm high. Now, on your exhale, you have two options. The first option is to bring the arm forward, but keep the hips right where they are. Or as you inhale, reach high. And then as you exhale, your arm comes forward and your hips reach back towards your heel. Big stretch here. So you choose your own adventure. Are you staying up on that knee? Are you moving the hips back towards the heel? Follow your breath. Have a little fun. Breathe, smile. You are doing this. You're moving your body. It's sometimes difficult to get off the couch and to get these joints moving. But as we do and move that energy in our body, creating a little bit of joy, creating a little bit more of that positive energy, creating a little sanity when you're stuck in your house. We all need that now. Go ahead and bring your hand back down. Bring it into a tabletop. Pause for a second. Close your eyes. Tune into your body and just notice if one side feels any different. If your hip on that side that's been moving feels any different than the other side. We're gonna even it out. So bring the other foot around. Again, if that doesn't feel good on this side, you're gonna be in a moving child's pose instead. So that looks like this, big toes together, hips back, hips up. If you feel okay with that foot out and around to the side, you're gonna find some nice smooth movements, back and forth, straightening, or little circles. Just moving some energy out of those hip joints, keeping things nice and slow. Again, you can be up on fingertips, you can be on knuckles, or you can be on palms. Choose what's right for you. All right, here comes that deeper stretch. If you like this one more, stay here. If you want that deeper stretch, you're gonna bring the foot back, stick it straight out from the hip socket. Plant your other hand, inhale, reach high. Exhale, arm comes forward. Now maybe add the hip, reaching back towards the heel as well. Fold that mat up if your knee needs a little more cushion. I know my 42-year-old knees really like a little extra cushion. So find that little extra support where you need it. We all need to support ourselves however we can. Continuing to move. Continuing to find that stretch and that strength. Finding that balance. Last one, reaching hand forward, and then come back to your tabletop. So bringing your hand down, bringing your knee around, untuck your mat if you've tucked it, find that tabletop. Hopefully you're feeling a little more equal. You're gonna arch, round, cat pose, cow pose. Reach shoulders side to side, wiggle hips side to side. All right, we're gonna tuck those toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale to look up at the top of your mat. Exhale, step or hop both feet up to the top. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. We're gonna roll those shoulders up and back, find that equal weight in our feet. We're gonna take a tree pose and then add on a little of what we were just working on with the hip openers if you want. So here we go. Find that solid footing, equal weight in both feet. Turn one knee out to the side, doesn't matter which side you start on. Engage the core. Set your eyes really steady spot. So something unmoving. Go ahead and bring your foot up, maybe to your calf. Maybe you bring it up just above the knee. Maybe you're gonna stay there. Maybe you're gonna take this hip opener like we did on the floor. So if you'd like to, you're gonna extend one arm for balance. You're gonna bring the knee out to the side. Find that stretch. Just like we did when we were on hands and knees, bringing the foot up by the hands, we're opening that hip. If you wanna add even more balance, you're gonna reach down, grab the big toe with your peace fingers and your thumb, and you're gonna straighten the leg. So this is similar to when we had the legs sticking out straight from that tabletop position. This is similar, but now we're adding gravity. Breathe, smile, it's just yoga. You're doing great. Start to bring it back. Knee comes down, foot comes down. Breathe. Shake that whole side off. Shake out your shoulders, shake out your breath. Maybe take a forward fold. One side isn't necessarily a mirror of the other side. Anything can happen on either. So start it all over from fresh. Deep breath, big exhale. Hands to heart. Here we go. Turn your other toes out. Doesn't matter which side you started on, but we're just moving on to the other side now. Bring it up. Now again, maybe you are not feeling the balance today and you need to stay connected to the mat. Great, do that. If you want to pick it up, pick it up. If you want to stay there, stay there. If you want to take those hip opening options here, we're going to start to bring the knee around, extend the other arm for balance. Maybe roll up the ankle, maybe find that wiggling and woggling. That's okay. You need to be able to move to maintain balance. We have to be flexible. We have to be able to shift chains, otherwise we'll fall right over. Trees sway in a big breeze. That's how they remain standing. We are swaying, babes. We are really swaying right now. Keep a little bend in the standing leg. If you want to extend the other leg, remember all those little muscles and ligaments in your feet and your ankles are adjusting to help you keep you upright. That's all of us right now, adjusting, moving, keeping upright. We're doing it. Come on back. Bring the knee around, step it down. Big, huge exhale, big, huge fold. Step your feet wide. Bring the head down to the mat, toward the ground part, and not all the way onto the mat, but shift hips side to side. Let that side go as well. Let your head be heavy. Shake it out. Roll yourself all the way back up to stand. I'm going to give you an option here to remain standing or to take another chaturanga vinyasa flow. So if you want to take that flow, you're going to return to your warrior two. Take a deep breath. Circle your hands around. Step back into your down dog or into your high plank. If you're in your high plank, lower chaturanga. Inhale to an up dog or low cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. If you remain standing, you're just going to fold, bring hands to the mat, find your down dog. That's where we're going to meet. Deep breath. Shake your head yes and no. From here, you're going to pick up your right foot, bring it up by the hands once again. This time we're heading for warrior one. So back foot's going to come down, heel down, foot at an angle. Inhale to come on up. Arms reach high. Bring your hands down to your hips for a moment. Hips and shoulders should be facing straight ahead of you, straight toward the top of your mat. Hips and shoulders parallel to the top of your mat, core engaged, ears over shoulders. Inhale, reach those arms high again, and then exhale, open them up wide. Palms up towards the ceiling, thumbs toward the back of your room. Get a deep breath. We're going to slowly tip to one side, like you're an airplane taking a corner. You're going to gently tip, doesn't matter which side you're going to start with. Stretching the side of your body. Inhale back. Exhale other side. Inhale, come back to center, and then drop the hands. Bring your arms behind you. Two options here. Hold opposite forearm, Or interlace those fingers, roll shoulders up and open, then down and back. Facing forward, keep the knee bent right over the ankle, stay here, or take that humble warrior, bringing your shoulder towards that front knee, let your head be heavy, and breathe. So good. Come on, back up. Unlace fingers or let go of the forearms, shake out the shoulders. Option to just switch and switch, finding warrior one on the other side, or we're gonna take it through a chaturanga. So you choose what feels good. If you're taking that chaturanga, you're gonna bring your hands down, step back into your plank or down dog, lower chaturanga if you're in your plank, inhale to up dog or low cobra, exhale downward facing dog. Other foot's gonna come forward. We're coming into that warrior one again, so bring the back heel down. Use the front knee if you need to, come on up. Bring it down. Bring your hands to your hips once again. Find that your hips are square to the top of your mat. Front foot pointing straight at that front mat. Back foot at an angle so this hip can face the front of your mat. Reach your arms high. Warrior one. Find that strong core. Find that stability in your feet. You're so connected now, you're so grounded. Open your arms wide. Palms up, thumbs face back. Roll shoulders and plug them in, and then back your thumbs up just an inch or two. Stretch the front of the shoulders. It should feel really good. Breathe. You're doing so good. So proud of you. Go ahead and tip it over to the other side. One side, doesn't matter which one. Bring it up. Stretch. Back to center. Keep that stability in your feet, equal weight. Slowly tip it to the other side. Inhale it up. Arms drop, bring it back, interlace, switch the interlacing of your hands, or hold opposite forearm, stay upright, or take this down into your humble warrior. Let your head be heavy once again. Bring it down, bring it down. From there, you're gonna unlace those fingers, bring them down towards the mat. You're gonna straighten the leg, turn your toes. Come on down to a seat on your knees. That's the second segment of our class. If you're going to continue, we're going to meet right back here in Hero's Pose. If you're taking a break, if that was the perfect segment for you today, you're going to stop there. Thank you so much. Hey y'all, if you are continuing, we're going to just keep flowing. If you're joining us for the third segment, we're going to start again with a playlist if you want my music with you, and we are in the playlist called Yoga Balance and Grounding 3-2020, and we're going to start with the song Halo by Beyonce. So right when you get settled, get ready, press pause here if you need a minute. If you're doing your own music or doing your own thing, you're all set. We're going to hit play. Away we go. So for this last bit of class, or just for this segment, we're going to do a bit more on the floor, grounding, stretching, and bridge pose, things like that. A nice big hip opener to end. Take a deep breath. Place your palms on your thighs. Really feel that connection, your shins, your knees, the tops of your feet. Feeling that stillness of the ground below you. Start to slow your heart and really deep breath all the way to your belly. We're going to swing feet around to the front and lower onto our backs. So go ahead and shift your hips to the side to bring your feet around to the front, lower all the way down onto your mat. And your feet are going to go out to the edges, so one foot on each side of the mat. Hands to your heart or belly, or hands on the side, palms down, feeling that grounding again. We're going to slowly rock knees side to side, like a slow motion windshield wiper. You're just going to bring those knees over, side to side. Nice little movement in the hips, releasing the belly and low back. Feeling that stability of the ground under your back and your shoulders, your palms. Although it feels like so much has shifted in the last couple of weeks, the ground is still below us and we are going to be okay. Bring your feet a little closer together. Two options here. If you want to take a bridge pose, or if you want to take Supta Baddha Konasana. If you want that and you also want bridge, don't worry, we're going to do that second. So if you're going to move into Supta Baddha Konasana, bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall open. Bring a hand to heart and hand to belly. Deep, slow breaths all the way to the hand over your belly. If you'd like to do a bridge pose first, hands at your sides, walk your heels back towards your hips. press into your heels and lift your hips. Trying to make a nice, like 45-degree ramp from your knees through your hips to your shoulders. You can tuck your shoulder blades underneath you, maybe even interlacing the fingers, and really roll those shoulders open, stretching your collarbones. Feels so good. Breathe. One more breath here in this bridge pose. Try it again, equal weight in your feet. And we're going to start to untuck the shoulders. So unlace fingers and shimmy the shoulders out of the way. Roll down one little vertebrae at a time, all the way down till hips touch. Then soles of the feet together, knees fall open to that side, finding that Supta Baddha Konasana. Again, hand to heart or hand to belly. If we are feeling stressed or anxious, often our breath gets really stuck up here in our chest. That signals to our body that there is something stressful, and it sends our body into that spiral of fight, flight, or freeze. We want to reverse that cycle by getting nice full breaths all the way down to our belly. So place both hands on your belly. On your inhale, try to move those hands with your inhale. Let them fall with your exhale. 2 more like that, just slow, deep. You can close your eyes. Now you can stay here, or you can take this into a happy baby, bringing your knees up towards your armpits. You can grab the bottoms of your feet or your shins, and you're going to just gently rock side to side and massage your back, massage your spine. You can close your eyes if you want. This last little part of this segment, this third segment, is great for before bed because it's just nice and grounding and slow and stretchy and might feel really good. If you want a bigger stretch, you're going to grab your big toes and straighten your legs and then let them open to a V. I'm kind of close to the wall on one side, but you would open those legs nice and wide and let gravity just do its job and stretch the inner thighs. Then bring the knees in, give yourself a nice big hug. Rock and roll this time forward and back on your mat, rocking and rolling. Oh, massage the spine. It feels so good. Come all the way up to your seat, pardon. And then bring yourself around. Soles of the feet together on this one. Sitting up tall. Finding that little butterfly. So a little gentle movement of the knees. Just a little bounce. Settling in. Deep breaths. If this is enough of a stretch for you, you're going to stay right here and just enjoy this hip stretch. If you want a little further, stretch. You're going to reach your spine really, really tall and then start to round the low back. Let the shoulders come forward last. Gently, you can press the elbows into your calves. You can bring your head around. Maybe it comes close to the ground. Roll yourself back up. Take a deep breath and a big exhale. Nicely done. You're going to stick those feet straight out in front of you. Give them a little bounce, bounce, bounce. We're going to do a reverse tabletop here. So, options. You're going to place your palms on the mat on either side of your hips and sit up tall. You can bend your knees and take that reverse tabletop like an actual tabletop, or I'm going to give you an option to straighten the legs and engage the core a bit more. So your choice. One option is to bend the knees, press into the feet, press into your palms, lift your hips, maybe tip your head back if it feels okay in your neck. Breathe. Other option is to straighten those legs, and as you straighten the legs, you're really going to be using the core to lift your hips. Again, you can let your head fall back behind you if you'd like. Breathe. And then come on down. If you use that strengthening one with the straight legs, it really fires up your heat, so be good to yourself. Take another deep breath and a big exhale. We're going to take another hip and shoulder stretch here. So, options. You can cross your legs, or you can stack your knees in a bigger stretch, a hip stretch called cow face. I'm not sure why it's called that. You're going to bend one knee and point it straight ahead, and then stack the other knee on top as much as it's possible and comfortable. Again, if this isn't comfortable, come back to that cross leg position. Now we're going to add the arms. This one is going to be eagle arms to stretch that spot right below or behind the shoulder blades. So the knee that's on top, you're going to extend that arm first, cross the other arm over at the elbows, and twist them around like you're giving yourself a high five. Now you can stay right here, Or you can start to slowly bring those elbows towards your knees. You can close your eyes. You're squeezing those joints, curling yourself into a little ball, finding some slow, deep breaths. One more breath here. We're squeezing these joints to restrict a little bit of blood flow. And on your next inhale, as you come up and unwind, now we're getting some new, fresh, oxygenated blood through all those joints. Reach your arms high and now back them up a little bit so you can't see them out of the corners of your eyes. Very slowly start to bring them back down towards the mat. Oh, slowly, slowly, slowly. Let those shoulder blades slide down and together. You're gonna feel that nice movement in the back. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Then bring the fingertips to the mat on either side, just behind you. Tip back a little bit. Use your palms to uncross your legs and then cross on the other side. Again, if this is too much to have the knees stacked, you're gonna just cross and then uncross your legs in the opposite direction. Again, that's gonna feel a little funny because it's not maybe your typical way of doing it. So once you get settled in, either legs crossed or knees stacked. The knee that's on top, that arm's gonna extend first. Cross at the elbows, twist them around until palms touch, or if that's too much for your shoulders, you can just give yourself a hug. Once you're here, take that deep breath. Exhale, slowly start to bring those elbows towards your knees. Squeezing the joints, gently close your eyes. Let your chin come to chest. Breathe. Next inhale, start to unwind. Reach your arms all the way up and out. Again, getting that fresh movement through your joints. Maybe roll out your wrists. Slowly bring them down. Try to keep them out of your peripheral vision so you're really stretching the shoulders down and back. And you kind of feel that shoulder blade settle down and back and down and back. Feel the lengthening of your neck. Feel your shoulders sliding down out of your ears. Oh my goodness. Tip back and uncross once again. We have two options for a nice big hip opener here. So I'm going to give you two options. One is you're going to come onto your mat and roll down like we did for bridge pose, but this is for figure four. So you're going to cross one leg over the other, bending both knees. You can stay here for your figure four or add on by reaching back and holding onto the back of this side, gently bringing knees toward you. If you need even more, you could use this elbow to press into that upper leg. Ooh. The other option is half pigeon. So if you're more interested in that, we're going to rock forward, coming through our downward facing dog. Reach one leg high, bring it forward, set that knee down right behind your wrist, and then slide the other toes back until your hips settle onto the floor. If you feel like one hip is way up in the air, if you have a block or a support, a pillow, you can use that to slide under that hip, because what you're trying to do is keep the hips level. So if they are up, one's way up in the air, support it so your hips are parallel to the floor. If you can slide all the way down and find that parallel hips, wonderful. Either one is great. You just want to support so you don't injure your hip flexors or your low back. If you're here, you're going to walk hands forward, give your head somewhere to rest, and close your eyes. So while you are here, if you're in your figure four or you're here in your half pigeon, use each exhale to see if you can just soften, melt into that hip a bit more. Sometimes the hips are where we keep some tension, keep some stress. So we're gonna just try to exhale a few more breaths here and see if you can just melt into this side a bit more. If you would like a king pigeon, coming up onto the palms, you're going to add a big back bend here. And if you'd like even more, you're going to bend the back knee, reaching back with the same hand. Again, these are a little more advanced add-ons, so please be good to yourself. If you're in figure four, you can add on by bringing that back leg, maybe straightening that back leg into a bit of a hamstring stretch as well. So add-ons for everybody. Either one, wherever you are, whichever hip opener you're in, we're going to start to make our way back out. So if you're in pigeon, you're going to come back through your down dog. So plant your palms, tuck those back toes, lift up and extend that leg that was just up in the pigeon, and then bring it down. Moving on to the other side. Bring the knee forward. And they might not be exactly the same. You know, one hip might be a bit more flexible than the other. So if one was really hips parallel to the floor and you were feeling good, or if this one you need some support, find a block or like a firm pillow from your couch and slip it under that hip. If you're in your figure 4, you're going to uncross and cross on the other side. Find that nice hip stretch, melt forward and close your eyes. If you liked any of those add-ons, like King Pigeon, coming up onto your palms, adding that back bend, adding the bent knee for that quadricep stretch and hip stretch, just decide what's right for you. Remember, these are a bit more advanced, so be good to yourself and decide where you want to be today. If you're in that figure 4 and you want to add on that stretch the other leg, so here's your figure 4 to start. Here's possibly an add-on, bringing knees toward you. Here's another possible add-on, straightening the back leg, so adding a hamstring stretch. Breathe. Now if you're in your figure 4, you're just going to uncross legs and take that knee side to side again. If you're in your half pigeon, you're going to come back through one more downward facing dog. So tucking the back toes once again, lift the hips and step the front foot back. Find your downward facing dog and pedal it out. Shake your head yes and no. A little wiggle side to side with the hips, getting everything back to center, maybe a tabletop to cat and cow. Spine and hips back to neutral. And then we're going to meet those people who were in figure 4 down on the mat. So walk knees forward so you can have a seat and roll on down. So we should all be on our backs now, knees bent. We'll go side to side once again. Big sigh. Now finding that full attachment, full support from the ground. If you'd like a twist here, we're going to set you up for a twist. If you prefer just knees side to side or another Supta Baddha Konasana, you could be there. If you'd like that twist, you're going to bring one knee in, give it a little squeeze, straighten the other leg so it's flat on the mat. Gently bring the knee across your body as you turn and look in the other direction. You might have to bend your arm or straighten it if you have enough room, but you could look toward that arm as your knee is stretching in the other direction, getting a full spinal twist. Come back to center, give both knees a hug. Little rock and roll, and then try to really flatten your whole spine onto the mat. And then we switch. Straighten the other leg, keep the other knee in on your chest. Gently bring the knee across your body as you extend your arm and look in the other direction. Again, if you have enough room, you can have straight arm, or you could bend it like a cactus. There's no right or wrong. Breathe. Bring it back in, give yourself a hug. Give it a nice little rock and roll on your spine. Options here. We're making our way towards Shavasana. So if you need a sip of water or grab anything that's going to make you more comfortable, maybe take a moment of just like a legs up imaginary wall. So if you're in the middle of your space, you can just stick your feet straight up, roll out your ankles, let some of that returning down. We're talking about grounding, using our feet, but now we have this whole ground underneath our back and our hips to really support us. So let some of that return down from our feet and ankles. Maybe check on the hamstrings. So good. And we're going to slowly make our way into Shavasana. So Shavasana is like the icing of the yoga cake. Don't skip it. It's so wonderful and wonderful and good for you. And if you are on your way to bed, this is just going to set you up for a nice restful transition to sleep. You can have feet together, knees out. If you like your knees bent, you could have knees bent but tipping in toward one another, or you can have legs straight. If lying on the floor isn't comfortable for you, you can also do a seated Shavasana. But you're just going to find that comfortable place. Maybe tuck your shoulders underneath you one more time, palms up toward the ceiling. Relax your belly, relax your chest. We're going to take a deep breath together, and we're going to inhale and hold it so we can feel the tension, and then we can feel the release of tension. So on your next inhale, deep breath in all the way down to your belly. Continue to inhale. Inhale even more. Inhale even more. Inhale one more sip. Hold it. Feel that tension in your body. Feel that angst of holding something that you don't need. Open your mouth. Exhale. Let everything melt into the floor. Gently close your eyes. Feel the support of the ground underneath your body. Feel the gentle wave of your inhale and exhale. If your mind wants to get busy, plug it back into the counting of your breath. Inhale and count how long your inhale is. Make your exhale 1 or 2 counts longer. Finding that cycle of exhaling longer tells your body you're in a relaxed state, that you're in a calm state. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Eyes closed. Body still. I invite you to stay in Shavasana for as long as you can, or as long as you want. If you need to move on with your day, you're going to start by just wiggling fingers and toes. Reach your arms up over your head. Roll out your wrists. Bring your palms back down and tip to one side. Bend your knees and support your head. Take a breath there. And gently make your way up to your seat. Bringing hands to heart center. Thank you all so sincerely for joining me. Thank you for being in this wonderful, little, fabulous, giving, caring, amazing community. Yoga and a Pint, I just adore you. You're amazing. We are all here in our homes together. We are giving to charity. We are sending love and arms and heart and care to every single one of you. Till we can meet again in person, I'm here with you online. Thank you. We'll bow forward and class here.